Well, it's another beautiful day in Arizona. In my previous videos, I've showed you how to sight your gun in, zero it for the appropriate range, and get everything dialed in with the gun. Today we're going to examine some various shooting positions. Um, I find that a lot of guys say they can hit a quarter at 100 yards with their favorite rifle, and then when they get out in the field, they can't hit their butt with both hands with fall fingers or flashlights. Part of that's because of buck fever and getting excited, but part of it too is, if you can hit a paper plate at 250 yards from a bench, that's not the same as hitting the paper plate from 250 yards freehand. And I suck at that, so I'm a really poor shot. So we're going to examine some ways we can improve our marksmanship, maybe cheat a little bit. So the first, we've got to, I'm big on paper plates because they're cheap and readily available. And today we're going to set up a paper plate out there, 25, 30 yards. And we're going to shoot at it using various techniques and see what difference there is between the different ones. And now these results are going to vary widely because you don't shoot the way I do. You're probably a lot better. But it is educational from the standpoint of you can see the difference between the various shooting techniques, if you will, and then you can pick the best one that's going to work for you out in the field. So we've got a paper plate set up out there about 25, 30 yards. And today we're going to use an air rifle. And it doesn't really matter what distance we use or what gun we use because it's all relative, as you'll see. So let's get going. Okay, so our range is set up here in my driveway up on top of the mountain here. Got various obstacles in the way, dogs, trucks, but we can get through this without denting a truck or killing a dog, I hope. So there's our target out there about 25, 30 yards. And notice that I've got a nice dirt backdrop there, so we're not going to have anything ricochet off and hit the neighbor's cabin or whatever. The old lady's going to have to move. Don't want to hit her. So, get out of my firing range. So here we go. Paper plate. Yeah, it's probably about 27 yards. All right, we're using this little FX air gun here with I don't know, 10 power scope on it. And this is a very accurate gun. It's sighted in at about the range we've got the target there, so we don't have to hold over or worry about any of that. So the first shot's going to be freehand, and I can already predict the results are going to be horrible. So let's see.
You're not supposed to shoot over here.
I got a dirt backstop. Would you get out of my way?
No, Daddy, there's people over there.
I know that. That's what the dirt's for.
That is not enough dirt. Okay, I'm going to stand on the other side of the dirt.
Go ahead.
Let's see how safe it is.
Go ahead, dumbass.
No, I'm just telling you, then you would kill me.
Get out of my way.
Dumbass. You go where you're supposed to be shooting, and it ain't here.
This is my place. I can do whatever I want to.
It's against the law to shoot in the city limits.
There's no city here, dummy.
These are the city limits. Don't get in trouble. I'm turning you in.
All right, better than I thought. There's a bullseye hit there. There's another shot. But if you were counting shots, I shot 3 times. So, looks like I missed the whole dang plate once. So that's freehand. We'll mark that plate and we'll move on to the next technique. Okay, the next technique I'm going to use, I'd used a lot when I was a kid, shooting blackbirds off of power poles and nuisance birds out of trees. And it's a sitting position. Now that I'm getting old, I'm not too wild about this position because it's tough to get down and it's tough to get up. And I'm not as steady as I used to be, so we'll see how this goes. The other problem with this position is if you've got high grass or a hill or a rock or something in your way, it might not work because the target may be obstructed, but we'll see. Okay, even though I got a couple closer to the bullseye freehand, this is a better target because at least all of them are on the plate. I'm not counting that one because I wasn't really ready. That pelican's got a hair trigger. So, better. But that's only 25 yards, so would that have hit a deer in the kill zone at 100? Maybe not. This is what I call kind of the modified sitting position. If I don't have anything at all to rest the gun on, and I've got a clear shot without any weeds or anything in front of me, as opposed to just taking a sitting shot with no support whatsoever, I try to find a tree or rock, backstop of some kind, and use that to steady myself. So we'll see if this comes out any better. Okay, not too awful bad. There's two in the bullseye. There's one right close to it. This one over here, I finally settled down and concentrated on squeezing the trigger instead of trying to wait until the crosshairs moved into the exact place I wanted and then rush the shot. So that's what caused that. But with something to support your back, you can do a lot better than you can just by sitting. So we'll call this the modified sitting position, and it was better. All right, here's probably my favorite shooting position here because this covers a lot of problems with the other one. It gives you something to rest the gun on beside your knee. It also gets you up where if you've got grass or other problems, obstacles in the way, then you've got a clear shot at the target. And relatively portable. I prefer these simple wooden sticks as opposed to some of the plastic telescoping things, kind of like a camera tripod, just because they're simple and there's nothing to really adjust on them. And in my old age when I walk, I use the sticks as a walking stick. Now, the way you use these things, this one's a 3-stick setup, and one of the sticks is shorter than the other two, and you're going to put that one out in front of you. And it would probably be good to have a little piece of tape or something on that one so you can identify that stick in a hurry. And then you're just going to take these back 2 legs and walk them towards you until the V you're going to set your rifle on is about neck high. So you can identify that odd leg. That looks about right there. And you're going to set the gun up on it. And I prefer to have the gun back further than as opposed to up. Then you can make fine adjustments. And there's different ways to use these things, but I prefer to kind of get up on it and use this arm to push forward on that with this leg right here, and then kind of tilt forward just a little bit, and that helps steady it. This pretty much covers you up and down ways, but side to side there's still going to be a little movement. But anyway, as opposed to nothing at all to rest the gun on, this is probably the easiest and most universal method. So we'll see how we do. Okay, not bad. 2 bullseyes, one almost touching the circle, one over here, and up and down looks pretty good, side to side, not bad. So even though this is only 27 yards or whatever it is, 25, I'm pretty confident that any one of these 3 shots would have killed a deer at 100, 150 yards. So that's my favorite. Maybe not yours. Again, you're going to have to go out and see what works best for you and come up with a conclusion there. Okay, if you can, there's a lot to be said for this prone position. It's probably going to yield the best results and steady your rifle the best. Now remember, if you've got tall grass, rocks, brush, terrain that's going to block your shot, this is not going to work. But if you can maneuver where you can get on top of a rise or into a rock outcropping where you've got a clear shot at your target, this is probably going to work the best. It takes a little time to set up, a little bit more than the shooting sticks, but I think we'll probably yield our best results doing this. The other drawback to it is when you're old and getting stove up like me, it's hard getting up, getting back, or getting down and getting back up again. And of course out here in Arizona we got cactuses and all kinds of crap you got to watch out for. So anyway, we'll see how we do with this. I'm going to surmise that it's going to be better than any of the others, so we'll see. Here's our prone target. As you can see, I took 3 shots. I ran out of bullets, but didn't matter. I mean, they were all going in the same hole. Now, don't expect accuracy like that out of a Cabela's or Bass Pro or Target pellet gun, but this one's good. So, good test of our ability anyway. So it's pretty obvious, at least for me, that the prone position is the most accurate shooting position for me. Now, again, you don't always have time to set that up. You don't, there's stuff in the way. Okay, here's kind of a modification of the safari stick thing. I made this shorter safari stick out of a couple of pieces of bamboo I found down at Ace Hardware and a bungee cord. Because when I go down to Pete's down in Texas, sometimes he'll set me out at the intersection of the game trail with a lawn chair and a cooler. And I sit there all morning long waiting for something to ambush. But the regular safari sticks are a little bit too tall. They get splayed out too far. So I made these and take these with me so I can sit there and survey the game trail and look at things through the scope. And if something does come by, then I'm set up to be our last demonstration here, and we'll see how well we do with these. Now, something that I've noticed here, just playing around with this today, is that it's not nearly so important to have the crosshairs dead on the bullseye as it is to squeeze the trigger to the point that you're not sure exactly when the gun's going to go off. If you try to wait until those crosshairs hit the center of the bullseye and rush the shot and jerk the trigger, in my case, they're going everywhere. So sometimes not even on the plate. I missed the whole plate in the freehand shot because I rushed the shot. The other thing is if that's distracting you, that crosshair moving all over the place, dial your scope down a little bit to a lower power setting so it's not doing that. Maybe it's a psychological effect, I don't know, but you may actually do better at a lower magnification on your scope than you do at the higher power settings. So let me get rearranged here and we'll give this a whack. Alright, this is the sitting safari stick method. 1, 2, 3 bullseyes, right? Hit a quarter at 25, 30 yards. So that worked out pretty good. Alright guys, good luck out there hunting. I drew a elk tag this year, which is kind of like winning the lottery in this state. And what I'm trying to get you to do is spend some time with your gun, see what you can do with it, get it all dialed in, ready to go, so that when you show up at hunting camp, you've got a good chance of success. Admittedly, I'm a poor shot, but I've got some little tricks that I use to make me look a lot better. So spend some time with your gun, find out what it'll do, find out what you can do, and in a lot of cases you'll find out that what you can do on the bench, you may have to cut that in half or even more in the field. But hopefully these little tricks help you out. You'll go out there and practice.